Gentlemen, it is Pack here, and in today's video, I have the third roster update of NBA 2K23 for you guys today. I'm going to cover all the major changes of every single NBA team, tell you what they are, what I think about them, and all that kind of stuff. If you like this kind of content, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it, man. We start off with the Philadelphia 76ers, as we always do, and the big one is Shake Milton has been playing out of his mind, averaging 23 points per game in the last 5 games. He gets a +6 from a 73 to a 79, making him the most improved player in this roster update, and he's the first player we're talking about. That's pretty cool. Listen, Harden and Maxey have been injured. Shake Milton has had to come up and play big games, especially because Embiid's been injured too for some games. He's been essential. It's been a really good play by him. And then Paul Reed as well, getting more minutes because Embiid was injured. He goes +3 to a 76 overall. We go to the Milwaukee Bucks. The pretty important one is Brook Lopez with a +1. He's been averaging 4 blocks in the last 5 games. His return to form is really impressive. They're scary. This team should win the NBA championship if Chris Middleton comes back as the 20-point per game scorer we know him to be, and Brook Lopez is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. This team should win the NBA Finals, just straight up. Grayson Allen also gets a bump of +2. He's been very damn good for the minutes he's been playing lately. For the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine -2. It's a pretty big downgrade for Zach LaVine, but ever since coming back from injury, he's been struggling pretty damn hard. And this Bulls team is losing a lot. I kind of feel bad for DeMar because DeMar's been playing well. It's just that everyone else hasn't at all. And Zach LaVine is the one to be mentioning here. I mean, this is a guy that was averaging 27 for a season, 24 last season, to averaging like 19 in the last 2 weeks. It's not very good, is it? For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell goes down 1. I'm not going to say the Cavs have slowed down. I think it's just that the rest of the East picked it up a little bit. I still think the Cavs are playing very well. I think they're starting to get used to each other with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell playing at the exact same time. Evan Mobley's been playing better, but Mitchell's numbers have gone down because Darius Garland is playing now, but he's still playing very well. I don't know if they should have downgraded him. If anything, upgraded Darius Garland. Big ones for the Celtics. We have Jaylen Brown +2, finally in the 90 overall club. Finally, for the first time in his career, has got his name in the all-time greatness of 90 overalls in 2K. It's a big deal, and Jaylen Brown deserves this. He was the second option on an NBA Finals team, and here he is, second option on the best team in the NBA. He belongs here. He belongs here. Then you have Malcolm Brogdon +1. Malcolm Brogdon has been extremely efficient for this team. He's kind of reduced his role of what he had in Indiana to a more role player type of role, but it's still working out. Derek White +2. He was one of the leading scorers in the last 2 weeks for the Celtics. We know how good he's been. I remember on the San Antonio Spurs, he had really good seasons, like a 15-point per game season. I know how good he can be, and he's starting to show that with the Celtics in his prime. Well, the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard -4. This is the biggest downgrade of the roster update. Now, you know my opinion about downgrades on injured players. When a player comes back from injury, it's not cool to downgrade him until a good month ahead. They're downgrading him because he's come back, but he's playing very minor minutes, and in the minutes he's been playing, it's been a little bit of a struggle. That's because he's still injured. To be completely honest with you, Kawhi Leonard is still injured, and he's just trying to fight through this injury. The reality is he's not healthy, and I don't know if you should give him a rating at all if you just don't know what he's actually like because he's never healthy. The important one is Norman Powell gets a +2. I'd argue he needs to go even higher to an 80 overall, but a +2 for Norman Powell. He's been the leading scorer in the last 5 games. He's been playing well. It's a shame that there's battling so many injuries because if everyone was healthy, this would be a pretty good team. The Memphis Grizzlies. So Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back and is balling out. The thing is, it's funny. Either Desmond Bane or Jaren Jackson Jr. is injured. Like, you can never have them both healthy at the same time. It's weird. But he's replacing Desmond Bane's role right now. And Jaren Jackson Jr. gets +3 to an 86 overall, making him tied as the second best player on the team, which, to be in fairness, he probably is. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeJounte Murray -1. This team is kind of weird rating-wise this year. We thought John Collins was going to be good, and then he went down. I sometimes feel like DeAndre Hunter deserves a better rating, and he doesn't get it. Trae Young's not in the 90 overall club anymore, and then you have DeJounte Murray playing worse than what he was in the Spurs. I don't think he's playing bad. I just think his role's diminished because Trae Young's going to be the guy that scores the most points. DeJounte's going to be the second option, and that's just how it works. For the Heat, a couple changes. So Bam Adebayo +1. I'd argue he needs to go even higher. He is the leading scorer as the best defender on the team. I don't know why he's arguably in like the 89-ish club, in my opinion. Tyler Hero goes down. It's been a very inconsistent year for Tyler Hero. They're going to need him to play a lot better. I know he's only 22, but you know, last season he was driving 21 points per game. We need to see that this year in order for them to have a successful season for sure. For the Charlotte Hornets, the big one is that Gordon Hayward goes down -2. He's also been injured, so it's kind of a weird one for Gordon Hayward, but he's out of the 80 overall club. The Hornets have been dealing with a bunch of injuries, and one of their best players is gone, but I do feel like the Kelly Oubre maybe should have went to the 80 overall club, but for the most part, that's it. For the Utah Jazz, who have started to slow down and come back to reality, we have Malik Beasley +1. He's been one of the higher scorers on the team, and Kelly Olynyk +1, who's been one of the better three-point shooters in the NBA. You have both these players getting an upgrade. Again, the team has slowed down. Maybe it's because of Mike Conley's injury, but definitely the ratings are starting to fill out more accurately for sure. For the Sacramento Kings, Malik Monk +1 and Harrison Barnes +1. Man, you need to like the beat, bro. The Sacramento Kings are kind of hype right now. De'Aaron Fox is playing amazing. Sabonis is starting to play like that all-star level that we know him for. Kevin Huerter is shooting well. Harrison Barnes and Malik Monk are doing well. This team, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they're looking better. Malik Monk's kind of playing as his potential. We know this guy can, average 14. He's had stretches where he's averaged 20. I want to see that more with the Kings, and his rating will go up if that's the case. So for the Knicks, Jalen Brunson +1. He's been the only consistent player on this team, averaging 25 in the last 5 games. He's been the leading scorer, one of the highest turnover ratios in the NBA, like assisted turnover ratios in the NBA. He's been good. It's just that the rest of the team's been mediocre, and they're struggling because of it. Speaking of which, Obi Toppin, who had an amazing start to the season, has come back down to earth, a -2 for Obi Toppin. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis +2 to a 93 overall, and do not be shocked if it continues to go up. Remember what I said at the beginning of the year when you guys were panicking about the Lakers and saying they're the dog, and that y'all were telling me in the comments, because I was saying that they're still an NBA contender, like an NBA championship contender. Y'all thought I was crazy. They're playing a lot better because, imagine when everyone's healthy, when your big three is healthy, it's almost like they're a much better team. And that's what's happening. So that's what you're saying. Thomas Bryant +1 to a 77 overall. They're actually using him more, and he's three-point shooting threat, which is super, super important for the Lakers. And the big one is Austin Reeves +2. They don't even have this man's face scan in the game, and he's getting one of the highest ratings on the team. And I honestly argue he should go even higher. He's been one of the better three-point shooters. For the Orlando Magic, Bol Bol to the 80 overall club. He's been very efficient. He's been averaging a lot of blocks. He's impressing everyone. I've talked about him a lot already, that on the Nuggets, they just needed to give him more minutes to actually give him a chance. And we're seeing that with the Magic, and he's become an 80 overall player. Imagine if he was still on the Nuggets getting minutes. He'd be an 80 overall on the Nuggets. That's crazy. Also, the bane of my NBA 2K ratings career, Gary Harris +3. He's returned. He's only 28. I swear. Remember the days when he was averaging 17 and I called him a role player and y'all got mad at me? And then look at the years after that. 13, 10, 10, and 10. That's all I'm saying. Okay, for the Mavericks, this one's kind of wild to me. So they give Tim Hardaway Jr. a -1. And then they add Kemba Walker on the team. The Kemba Walker addition, we'll have to find out if that's good or not. But let's talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. I disagree with the downgrade. He just had a good game. I think they need to calm down with the massive downgrades. I mean, saying he's a 75 overall while being one of the highest scorers on the team is kind of a weird feeling. Okay, for the Nets, Ben Simmons +1, making him tied as the third best player on the team with TJ Warren and Nicholas Claxton. Now, he's just so inconsistent, but he's consistently good at defense. It's just the offense is so... he rebounds the ball and he play makes well. It's the scoring just doesn't exist sometimes. Regardless, he's been a good defender, and a 79 I think is a fair rating for him. Okay, so for the Nuggets, Michael Porter Jr. -1 and Aaron Gordon +1. I agree with both of these absolutely. Also, Bones Highland +2. I agree with all these so far, but no Jamal Murray upgrade is crazy. He's been the second leading scorer. No, I believe he's been the leading scorer on the team in the last 5 games that he's played because he's been injured. But the last 5 games he's played, he's been one of the best scorers on the team. I think he should have went up to like an 83 overall, me personally. For the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton +1. Okay, listen. It's a weird one because this is the best playmaker in basketball right now. He has the highest assist to turnover ratio in the NBA while averaging the most assists in the NBA. Let me repeat what I just said. He averages the most assists in the NBA while having the best assist to turnover ratio. That's literal insanity, okay? That doesn't make any sense how he's doing that while being the leading scorer for the team. It's impressive, and 88 overall is a little high, especially when they're not doing well, and in the last 5 games he's been slowing down a little bit. I don't know. I think he should have stayed at an 87. 88's a really high rating, but we'll see. Buddy Hield -2. He's slowed down a lot. Benedict Mathurin didn't get an upgrade, but he absolutely should have. That's my personal opinion, and that's it. For the New Orleans Pelicans, the team is doing pretty decent so far. I'm surprised there was no Trey Murphy upgrade because he's been playing very well lately, but Jonas Valanciunas gets a -1. I haven't said his name in so long. -1 for him. He is slowed down. And Jose Alvarado +2, he's been inconsistent, but he's a good defender and has moments of scoring. So that's what happened here, basically. For the Pistons, very quickly. So we have Sadiq Bey -1. You know, with the injury of Cade not playing, you would think he'd average more points and do better, and he didn't. And so that's why he's going down. And then Marvin Bagley III +2. You know, he's only 23 years old. It's too early to give up on Marvin Bagley III. He's on a team that's going to use him a lot more, and he's having opportunity to grow his game. You know, he's had 14, 15 point per game seasons. We know he can do. It's just, will he be able to do it with the Pistons? It's starting to show that maybe he can. For the Raptors, I'm surprised that there was no OG Anunoby upgrade. They absolutely needed to give him one, but they gave Thad Young a +1, and that's all they did for the Raptors. Basically no changes. For the Rockets, it's Jabari Smith +1. He had a terrible season, to be honest with you. As being one of the highest picks in the draft, it was not a good look, but he's been playing a little bit better lately, which happens. He's a rookie. I mean, it's going to take him a little bit of time, and he's showing that he has potential. So that's all that's happened. So for the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson -1, making him tied as the best player with Devin Vassell. Keldon Johnson has had an atrocious last 2 weeks, averaging 13 points a game and bad efficiency, while Devin Vassell has been consistently good. So even though it feels weird, because Keldon Johnson's obviously the best player on the team, it feels weird for them to be tied. It is fair at the moment. For the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker +1. He's a 92 overall. Man, I want to call this out. Remember when I said that Devin Booker was by far the best player on the Suns, and that why was Chris Paul tied with him? And I said this for years, and I also said that he was in a 90 overall club and above, and no one believed me. I'm just saying, bro. Sometimes I just call it. He's one of the best players in the NBA. He's averaging 30+. I mean, he's what he does. DeAndre Ayton +1, making him tied as the third best player on the team, which is absolutely accurate. And even, I'd argue, lately, he's been the second best player on the team. And I think Chris Paul rating needs to go down a lot, and Ayton needs to go up a little bit to tie it. We also have Damian Lee +3. It was a promising pickup for the Suns because he had a good season with the Warriors, and he's starting to show that. For the Thunder, SGA +1. He's a 91 overall, bro, but it's fair. He's averaging 30+. I know the team's not good, but he's not the reason that they're not good. He's been amazing. He's a 91 overall. Wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going up. He's been amazing. So for the Timberwolves, who have been struggling, you have Cat -1. You have Rudy Gobert -1. This is a team that has not figured it out. You've now tied Anthony Edwards with Rudy Gobert as the second best player on the team. This team is going to need to figure it out if they want to win some games, because they just don't look good together. Okay. For the Blazers, finally, Anthony Simons gets his upgrade with a +4. It's a massive upgrade. It's a deserving one. He's been deserving this for a very long time. He's been averaging 23 in like the past month. He's been amazing. It absolutely deserved. But Jerami Grant didn't get an upgrade. I think that's crazy. I think they need to be tied. I think you give Jerami Grant at least a +2 to tie him. I'm shocked. They always find a way to mess up the Blazers' ratings. Jerami Grant deserves to go up. Okay. Klay Thompson +1, tying with Andrew Wiggins. Now, I was looking at my comments the other day, and I kind of agree with you guys. And by the way, also Draymond Green +1. Listen, I think Draymond and Klay deserve to go up. They've been playing well. Klay has been shooting amazing threes lately. The field goal percentage is way up. But they're not better than Andrew Wiggins. He is the second best player on the team as of today. In fact, as of the past year. And I think he needs to be an 85 overall to make it feel right. And James Wiseman -2. They gave him an upgrade the other day when he was sent to the G League, and now they finally give him a -2 to make it feel like, you know, it's accurate. And finally, and very deserving, on the Wizards, Kyle Kuzma +1. I'd argue he needed to go up +3 or even 4. He's been the second leading scorer on the team in the last, honestly, in the last year, like the entire year. He's been consistent. He's been good. You can't hate on it. The Wizards actually look pretty decent. Like, their big threes are all performing very, very well, and Kuzma's very close to Porzingis rating-wise, in my personal opinion. But okay, guys, let me know your opinion in the comments below about these rating changes. What do you think? And if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.